Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Boss Babe Blog Podcast. I'm your host, KeTohn, and I'm here with the lovely Tiffany. She is the founder of Radiantly Crowned. So, Tiffany, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for joining.
Hello. Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And is this your first podcast discussion? I think official, right?
It is, I believe. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, welcome to the podcast discussion. It's going to be different than the Boss Babe Business Show. On the Boss Babe Business Show, we do have great topics and conversations, but usually you're bringing the topic. For the podcast, we have like the topic of the night, and then everybody comes to give their own experience and insight. So it's like a different energy, very informative, opinionated in the best way, and challenging. We kind of want to challenge people's thought processes so they can hear a different perspective. So, welcome. You excited?
I'm very excited.
Good. All right. So I want to first start off by just shouting out the small businesses that I'm representing this evening. My lipstick is coming from Carlita Cosmetics, a DFW based small business that provides lipstick, lip gloss, and so many more cosmetics, eye cream, you name it. And then I also want to shout out Nails by Fair, my beautiful, sparkly, Ruby Royale press on nails. They are so cute. And then my necklace is coming from Bling with Shell. So, and then my dress was a gift, but because my birthday is coming up. So, with all of that being said, I am happy that you guys decided to check us out, join us, listen to us whenever and wherever you're listening or watching. Today's conversation is about how to work with coaches or mentors. So, the question that I'm really asking people is, what is one tip or piece of advice that you would give to someone on how to have more enriching relationships with their mentors or with their coaches? So, did you want to take it away or did you want me to start? How do you feel?
Oh, I can I can certainly start.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany. I am a certified life coach. And before I became certified, the school that I went to, she was a certified life coach, of course.
Mhm,
So we got coaching and of course our certification. And before I went in, I didn't I had read about what coaching was, so I had did some research and I knew that's what I wanted to do. But I didn't really know what it entailed, should I say. And so to your question, and you said what's one tip we would give someone who's wanting to have a good relationship with their coach? Is that be honest, um, know what, go in with a goal. I think a lot of people go in there and they're looking for the coach or the mentor to give them a goal, and that's not what it is. Go in with the if you, and then you have your skeptical people. Your people like, well, if she's the coach, she should know why I'm here. No, go in, go in, cause I
Oh,
went in like that. I'm like, yeah, okay. You the expert. Then
she said, "You
what
know what?"
what is my problem? Or what should I be doing?
Oh my
And
god.
that's not what you want. We we guide you towards pulling the answers out of yourself. So it's like you have
Exactly.
this problem and we want to help solve it. You already have the answers. But you know how when people say I need a fresh set of eyes, you may
Mm-hmm.
need a fresh set of ears, a fresh perspective,
Yeah.
and a fresh perspective on what it is that you're trying to work towards. Or
Yeah.
um,
Dropping
maybe
gems.
you truly don't know. Maybe you're stuck in a place where you're trying to figure, hey, where do I need to go? So come in open. Don't be closed minded. I know when we're going to coaches and mentors, we kind of have our own. It's not kind of. We have our own beliefs, our own thoughts, and they probably have been with you for years.
Yeah.
Come in expecting an outcome. Come in expecting change. Come in expecting to be stretched. Come in with your mind made up that I am going in here for change. and I'm looking for the answers that I need to move forward with whatever it is, with whatever it is. And so being honest, coming in open, and being open to feedback, being open to actually changing that belief that has you in there in the first place. That's what I would say.
Oh my goodness. That I wasn't even going to talk about that today, but you just stole the words. I mean, you just took them right out of my brain because I was thinking about that earlier today. I was thinking it is so silly how sometimes, we go into these spaces knowing that we struggle in an area and we're here because we need to change that area. But then when we get to that mentor, that coach, or that insight, we're not actually wanting to change. And it's like, why would you want to stay the same? Because what you're doing now is not helping. So there has to be a change. So why would we? I think it's just a natural thing. Change is a little bit uncomfortable. And then also being pushed outside of your comfort zone consistently is a little uncomfortable.
It
So
is.
naturally, you're already on the defense and you're just like, ooh, I don't know about that. But if we think about it logically, you're going to a coach, you're going to a consultant because there's an area in your business or in your life that you're not seeing growth in yet, or you're not getting to where you want to be just yet. So to walk into the room and then when they start to give you that change, you say, oh, no, no, no. What? Especially if they have proven results in being successful in the area that you are trying to elevate in. That is the key part. Like, is it a valuable service, coaching, mentorship, and also can you afford it? What is required of it? Are you able to provide it? Whether it's financially, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, time wise, whatever it is. Those are the questions we have to ask. But I've had so many times where a person has come to me and clearly stated, you know, I really struggle with this. I need sales. I need this. I need clients. I need growth. How did you get there? What did you do? And I analyze their business and then I say, okay, this is what we're going to start doing. All I need you to do is step back, follow the instructions. That's it. Just follow the instructions. And then as they start to follow the instructions, they do it until change is required. And then when something feels uncomfortable, they retreat and they start asking questions about stuff that you haven't done research on. I remember one time a person was like, well, normally when I post, I like to post it like this. I said, okay, are you getting traction from those posts? She said, no. I said, okay, so do we need to continue that? No. All right, let's bring it back. So I want you to post that. Let's try something new. So, it's just crazy. Sometimes I think it's that defense thing, but we really have to practice. When you step into a room to get help with something, anything in your life, be ready for that change, especially if you're dealing with someone who has proven to be able to bring those results. Because it'd be different if I was like, well, Tiffany, I've never had a client before. What? But this is what I think you should do. That's a little bit of a different conversation. Then I can understand why Tiffany might just be like, it's been really fun. Love what you're doing, KeTohn. I'll definitely call you when I'm ready if I'm interested. I could understand the conversation going that way. But when you're dealing with the person who has the experience, they've gained the sales, they've worked with the clients, follow the instructions. I think it kind of feeds into somewhat of what I was going to talk about, which is be prepared to work. There was something you said earlier, which is that coaches, mentors, they're here to help guide you, but we are not here to tell you every single thing. Like, we're not here to tell you what your vision is or what you're excited about. We are here to ask you the right questions so you can get to that place. And depending on what type of coaching it is, if there's consulting involved, then there will be some critiquing. If that's what you signed up for, if that's what you have expressed that you're wanting. So it will happen. However, there's something that's very important to understand. Just like any service or any partnership, you're coming to get this insight and grow your business, but you still have to work. And sometimes people get, I don't think let me not say a negative thing, but maybe it's an automatic thing. But sometimes people get comfy and then they just put up their feet and get on cruise. And I had to go and grab that lighter, that figurative lighter, and go and light underneath that butt, because I'm like, what are you doing? Like, no, if I get on a consult with you and I say, and you tell me, no, I haven't gained any sales. And I say, okay, have you been working towards What you think you can be doing to change that? No, I haven't really been doing anything. I've had this happen. I've had this happen where a person has told me, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing any difference. And then I'm like, okay, what have you changed? Nothing. Okay. So let's just do that.
I have to be honest here. Before
Have a
now,
moment.
before I went to coaching school and I was under this coach, and I was so used to, because like I said, like you just said, it's a comfort thing. I was so used to just being for everyone else, and I feedback to me, I'm like, well, no, I give this to other people. I this is what I like, my family. That's what I went in. I was stretched. So if I had not went through the certification, if I hadn't had the coach, I would have still came to you because I still want to build a business, and I'd have been like, well, I haven't did anything. No, I didn't. No, you told me to do 1, 2, and 3, but I haven't done that because I feel like, I would have gave a lot of pushback.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching really changes. Even now, like you were my coach, you're my business coach, and I came to you because I saw this lady shows up when she says. This lady has 4 businesses. Surely, if she has 4 and she shows up, because that was a big thing for me, like procrastination. I still fight it. That's a big thing. And when you can show up on multiple platforms on multiple days, I'm like, this is who I need to be under right there. Because just like you said, she knows exactly what to do. And because I had already had some life coaching as well, I'm able to receive your instructions, and I'm able to execute because I know that you know exactly what you're doing. And my end goal is to have a, up and running business, and you've already got 4. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I take the instruction? Why
And
wouldn't
you made a really great point about you being able to do the life coaching. Once you started doing your life coaching, it kind of opens up that perspective. And I think I kind of want to correlate how your healing process does translate into your business process. Because if you have not healed properly and you don't properly know how to hold yourself accountable without being extremely harsh to yourself, how to set boundaries so you're not over giving to the point where you're overextending and you don't have a business anymore, respect your time enough to say, you know what, I can't do this or I won't do this. If you don't have those life skills, it does translate into your business. And I've seen that. And there's been times where I've had to recommend to someone that they need to seek a professional, whether it be therapy, whether it be counseling, whether it be a life coach. There needs to be some level of accountability for elevating the quality of your life and challenging yourself to take those next steps. And oftentimes people don't understand how important that is. Healing and business go hand in hand. And I'm going to give you one perfect example, Tiffany. Um, I had a time where, well, this has happened more than once. So I host events online and offline. So I hosted some events. I had some entrepreneurs who talked about how they needed sales, they wanted growth, they wanted to network, they wanted to find new opportunities. So I created a room, I created a space where there were other entrepreneurs who also were looking for that as well. You have 2 different types of entrepreneurs sitting in this room with me. You have the entrepreneur who is eager, excited, open, vulnerable to an extent, and happy to have a conversation, to elevate, to grow, to talk about their brand. You have the entrepreneur who is in their own little bubble, kind of making their comments to the side. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they are condescending, just kind of doing your own little thing. And guess who walked out with a $2,000 sale that day? You want to take a guess at which one?
the open one?
The open one. And and that's because the open one had a sense of confidence to the point where not only do they have confidence, but they also respected their time enough to not to show up to something and be serious about it. Because if you don't like something, just don't show up. If you're not enjoying it, just leave. These are all things that you do when you are healing, when you're getting through the process to value yourself. So this professional saw the value in the room, and they were open, and they were conversing with people, and they were asking questions, and they were, being vibrant and just trying to introduce themselves. It didn't mean they have to be over the top, but they were putting themselves out there. And the other individual that was kind of like making little statements, little giggles here and there, like we were in like preschool or something. Not to be mean, but I mean, really, like we're not kids anymore. We're past the mean girl stage. We are adults. So as they're doing all of this, they're missing out on core customers who really do want to spend money. And I don't know if they did that because they felt like there weren't enough shoppers in the room, but everyone is a shopper. Even if they're an entrepreneur, everyone is a shopper. And you can have 10 entrepreneurs in front of you that all do different things than you and still need your services. So to overstep them or overlook them simply because they have a business too, it's a big mistake that a lot of sellers make. So I don't know why, but I just know that they left without feeling like that was a fruitful experience. And it wasn't because we didn't have people in the room that could have helped elevate their quality of business, life, or their wallet. So that's a perfect example, for me at least, on how healing is really important when it comes to business. Because if you had healed and you had truly learned how to communicate and how to be open and how to produce a positive energy, even in moments when you're a little unsure and a little uncomfortable, then you wouldn't have those toxic traits of trying to be a bully or trying to be funny or sarcastic, trying to downplay or belittle what someone else is doing. Because when you are healed or healing, that's not your focus. Your focus is on elevating yourself and making an impact. So, people don't realize how that really plays into business. And it's not to say that anybody's perfect, because me, by all means, I'm not perfect. So don't ever, take it as that. Listen. But at the end of the day, I think it's the effort and the energy that you put towards trying to heal that will truly translate into your business. So when you put in that effort to say, for some reason, when I get around people, I get extremely uncomfortable. I get anxious. I get scared. Why is that? What did I go through in my life that would make me feel this way around other people? Why is it so hard for me to show up for myself in moments where I feel like it should be easy? Why do I freeze up? These are questions we have to start asking ourselves. Why do I result to trying to be funny or belittle someone to make myself feel comfortable? Ask those questions, because when you start to ask them, you start to elevate your integrity and your character. Like I said, not perfection, but elevation. And it does translate. I see it. I see it in how people treat people, how they talk about people. I see it in productivity and non-productivity. When you are healing or you are healed, you're working on yourself. You're not worried about what the next person is doing. I see too many people worried about what the next person is doing. I see it in the sense of control, where people feel like they need to control someone else's decisions, thought process, or narrative. Like I was telling you earlier, I ran into someone while I was filming yesterday, and she was like, it's just really hard sometimes for entrepreneurs to find marketing and advertising and things like that. I say, yeah, it really can be sometimes. Sometimes it feels like there's a lot of noise and you don't know who to trust. You say, yeah, because a lot of people are dishonest. When you're not completely healed, you feel the need to be dishonest because you don't truly value who you are, the gem that you are, enough to know that if you were honest with somebody, you would still have someone standing in front of you wanting what you have to offer because you are valuable. That is the process of healing that you have to overcome. Um, I learned that because I worked in sales. So when you work in competitive sales environments, it's kind of like not an option unless you just don't want the job. But for me, I had to have the job. I needed the job. So that little, nervousness of like, ooh, I don't know how. I was like, nope, got to get over that. I know the customer's going to say no sometimes. I know they're going to have a bad day. I know they're going to have attitude sometimes. I know that they're going to come in and have, 30 questions about this $1 shirt. And guess what? If you want this job, you better be able to answer every single one of them. So that's the mindset that I had to push myself into. And then when you become an entrepreneur and you start to carry that mindset of, let me work through this. Let me be honest with people and transparent, because they're going to like it if they like it. And if they don't, they're not going to like it. But what is going to be bad for you is trying to present yourself one way only for people to find out that that's not really what you're about or what you care about or what you even want to do. And then they realize we're not a good fit. Just be who you are. But a lot of people don't understand that. So they have that filter in business, not the professional filter, the what's the word? The chameleon filter. Those are two different things, because there are professional filters. There's certain things that I don't start off with in my first consults with my clients because I just want to get to know them a little bit. I want to make sure they know that they're in good hands. Like, we can laugh and have a great time, but we also get down to business. Um, but then there's also the other filter, which is the chameleon filter of like, okay, well, I need to say what I think she wants to hear so I can get this sale. Or I got to tell her that I do this so she can feel like I'm credible. You got to release all of that. And that takes healing. It takes a level of confidence like no other.
It
So,
does.
you know what I mean? So
It
for that,
does.
yeah, and it's hard because there's moments where you start to feel like, well, if I do this, is this going to work? If I say this, are they going to be interested? But once I embraced that in entrepreneurship, it became so easy for me. Like, people, even people who were trying to intimidate me, I had one time where a person was like, well, tell me, how many views do you get to your business, and what does your website look like, and I need your statistics before I decide if I want to sign up. I said, oh, no problem, here's a link, and it has all my statistics there. Check it out. If you want, come back, and if you don't, that's okay. Enjoy your day. Deuces. I don't have to do all that. I know my stats. I know my audience. I know my tribe. I know what my mission is, and I can give it all to you. It's all on my website. We have membership specialists who understand it and have experienced it either as a member or as someone who's a new member or someone that's a member of my community. They're a member of something with Boss Bay Blog. So with that being said, I know that I feel confident in being able to share the information and let other people just make the decision of if it makes sense for them or not. So that took healing. That takes healing. You know what I mean? So,
It does. It does. That's where that coach comes in at. I mean, that's where the coach comes in at. So I do believe that you could probably do it some healing on your own.
mhm.
It might take longer if you have a coach
Yeah,
or building a business
yeah.
where it might take you 5 years to build one. If you got a coach, it might take you two to, thrive. So yeah, I definitely get it. And like I said, if I had not went through coaching, I would have been one of those clients for you.
Hmm.
Be procrastinating, coming in, sliding in at the deadline because I had a huge
She
problem with
said
it. I
sliding
did.
in.
I I
It's
did.
hard. Hello,
And
hello. Happy Friday.
I had a huge problem with control. Um, I'm a mother and my kids have all, gotten grown. Now my baby is 18. So I had a when she told me she was leaving
Hmm.
and going back to Arkansas, I'm in Wisconsin. She's 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
I like to have a mental breakdown. Thank God I was in coaching school. I'm like, everyone's leaving me, but that right there, if she was still here and I had took that over with me to trying to build a business and I'm trying to control a customer or trying to control just what you said,
Yeah.
it would have failed.
Yeah.
Everyone is not for me, and I'm not for everyone. You have to put yourself out there, like you said, and know your audience. So
Hmm.
yeah, think I thank God that I had that experience. Coaching is very stretching, and it makes you step back and be like, I went like that for years. I had
Right.
to take a really big look at myself and was like, I was really anal. I can't
Yeah.
believe I wasn't open at all. You think you're
Very.
one way
Yeah. Yeah.
until you get a good coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you realize that the way that I think I am, I'm not being perceived as that.
Mm-mm.
And then there's so many moments of like deep thought. This next tip that I'm going to give is definitely a gem, and this one is to be prepared to receive the coaching. And I'm not just talking about in general, I mean the day of your meeting. Be mentally, physically, whatever prepared to receive the coaching. And if you are not prepared, you got to plan better, and you have to make sure that you're giving yourself that space. And I realized that for myself because I've had moments where there were people who were really great at what they do, coming in to give me that insight. And it wasn't really, it was like one time I think I was like, okay, can we talk about this later? I'm tired. And I had to ask myself, I was like, what is the breakdown here? What's the problem here? Why is it so hard for me to receive this insight and just take it, listen, and then move on? Why am I feeling like this? And It was because I was exhausted, and it was because emotionally and mentally my brain was not there. And so I had to start being a little bit more intentional about these meetings. So what I started doing was saying, I really do want to be a part of this. I want to hear this. Can we get a scheduled time? Let's sit down and have a date for this. When does your schedule look good? You know, because it's not just about like, people sometimes misread things and misunderstand stuff. So I'm really big on my schedule. Anybody who knows me knows that schedule, like, on, if it ain't on the schedule, it ain't happening. If it ain't on the schedule, we ain't there. And that's just because when it comes down to these businesses, these platforms, these different brands, different clients, I have to make sure that I'm really on top of the production, and then we're growing our teams, and then there's a potential that we might have more than one team for more than one business. So with all of this taking place, I don't have space to just be chilling and just be like, I feel like I'm going to do business today. I got to be, what are your business days? What are your work days, KeTohn? When are you going to be done? When are you calling and following up with clients? When are you studying to look at what your clients are doing online or offline? Like, what are your set times and dates? And because I am like that, I realized there's days where I wasn't really giving myself that level of commitment on my development. Like, I didn't have a date scheduled where I was doing my own studying just for myself as a human being, as a person, but then also as a coach, as a consultant, as a mentor. So I had to start being even more intentional and prepared to elevate myself. So whether I was studying by myself or I had booked a session with someone, I am taking the time, I'm being intentional, and I'm going to sit down and be prepared to receive this, even if it's just watching a video on business. I may not agree with everything that's in that video, but one thing I'm going to tell you is I'm going to come to that video and I'm going to be ready to receive. I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to just start taking notes on everything that's said. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to combat. I'm not here to debate. I'm just absorbing it like a sponge. And after I've absorbed it, I'm going to go look at those notes. And then I'm going to start doing some research on each of those bullet points. I'm not going to try to do everything at once. I'm not going to feel like I'm not doing a great job if I can't. I'm going to go by it piece by piece. This month, I'm focusing on this. That month, I'm focusing on this. I'm going to set times where I schedule in my education. I schedule in my schedule. I have a literal day on my schedule that's scheduled for me to write my schedules. This is a different level of organization that must be done. So, when you do that and you start to get more intentional, it becomes easier for you to receive that insight, that feedback. You're not taking it and internalizing it. Even in personal life, even when people are wrong, you're not internalizing it. I've made the mistake of internalizing something, whether they were wrong or right. I've done it in both scenarios, when a person was right and when a person was wrong. And in the moments when they were wrong, I'm just like, but listen, let me tell you why. I just had to realize you don't have to internalize it. You don't have to debate it. You don't even have to address it. You can just absorb the information and decide on what is useful to you, and take what is, and let go of what's not useful, and then move on. And if you keep having moments like that, too many, then it's time to just move to a different room or have a different conversation and stop having that same conversation or stop going to that same room. But sometimes it's not going to always be an every time thing. It just so happens that in that moment, there's a better way to take this in. So that would be another piece of advice, like, be mentally prepared to get this information. And don't think that everything is, sometimes coaching, understand the difference between consulting and coaching and instructing, because they're all different on a different scale. Consulting, it can have coaching involved, but consult, let's break down the words. Coach, consult, instructions. You're giggling, but no, I'm being so serious though. I really am. So with coaching, I'm here to guide you. I'm here to challenge you to ask the questions that you haven't asked yourself yet. I'm here to challenge you on things that you probably didn't feel like you needed to be challenged on. But because I'm bringing these things out of you, you're starting to ask yourself, do I need to change this? Is this something that's a problem? Should I be concerned? Are there areas that I can grow in? That's what I'm here to do. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to enable you. And there's a balance in there. I'm not here to enable you, but I'm not here to judge you, because we're all going to have our days, and it doesn't mean we're not human, because I definitely have my days where I be in a coaching session. I be like, girl, I already told you. But We're all human. So I'm not here to judge you, but I'm not here to enable you either. So I see your potential. I see your vision. I see your value. I see your mission. And I'm just your cheerleader slash guide along the way. And there will be moments where I might have to pause and step into consulting or instructions because I see that you're running into the same wall, or I see that there's a wall ahead that we don't have to waste our time running into. We can just make the turn now. So that's what that looks like. Consulting, sometimes you get a consultant that does not provide coaching. They are strictly here to provide you with the insight. It's like a list, bullet point, and then that's it. Boom, you're good. They're not here to, well, ask yourself, what do you think? They're not asking you any questions. Actually, half the time you're sitting, you're zoop, and you're just taking it all in. That's it. And when you're done, you pay for the service. That's a wrap. Because what you paid them for was their knowledge and their experience. And you're not getting that same, coaching, guidance on that level of like, I'm here to ask you those questions in your head that maybe you haven't been asking yourself. I'm here to give you this insight. I'm here to let you have this information and you do with that what you feel you need to do with it. And maybe even give you action plans depending on what kind of session you are purchasing. So it's a little different. Then you have instructions. I'm just here to deliver. This is what you need to do. Boom. So there's differences between all of those where people are teaching you how to do something. Instructors, people are teaching you how to do things and plans that you can create and ways that you can change and grow. Consulting. And then you have people who are teaching you, but also challenging you to elevate mentally, emotionally, whatever area of that life is. So there's different types of mentors and coaches, and they all have different roles. And you really have to be transparent with yourself, like Tiffany was saying, about what you're looking for and what you truly want. And after you are transparent with yourself, from there, you will be able to decide on what the right fit is for you or who the right fit is for you. Because maybe you do need someone who's going to be a little bit more hands-on with you and ask you those uncomfortable questions like, why is it that you haven't done this yet? But you said that you really want to do it. You haven't started. What's going on? Why is it that whenever we talk about this, you pause and then we reroute to something new? Sometimes you need leaders who are going to hold you accountable, but also challenge you to show up as that professional that they know you can. So
most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I think you made a great point.
Thank you. I think it comes from my own experience of being a better learner. Sometimes we forget for a moment how to learn, especially if you are in an industry where you're always providing the service. And I try to challenge myself to remember the importance of being a learner, because even though I might be consulting or coaching people, I still have team members. I still have partners. I still have, events, guests, sponsors. There's so many different people. And so if I can practice being a better learner, then I can practice learning how I can provide service or value to someone. And that overall is going to help me be much more richer, not just financially, but, internally, spiritually. So It really has helped me. The things that you learn from people when you really just take it in. And then the first step is learning how to just take it in. That's the first step. And it's hard. It's hard because it's hard. Listen, I had a client. She's my bestie now. But in the beginning, I was like, hey, we got to do this. We got to do that. And she was like, well, I don't know about that because that's not what I normally do. I'm like, okay, I know that's not what you normally do, but I've noticed in that she was stubborn. She said she was stubborn, just as stubborn as me. So you just got two stubborn individuals in there, because I'm focused on this message and this lesson, and she focused on what's not changing and why she don't want to change it. So we just every time. But, we had to have that conversation of, okay, I know this is different. I know this is uncomfortable. But do we really want to stay in the same place? And is our comfort more important than our progress? And those kind of questions were really important, because now it's like her ability to move and flow with changes and with adversity is wonderful. There's so many things now that I don't even have to consult her on, because she's already thinking of what the solution is going to be. She's already doing the research. She's already finding the team. She's already delegating the task. It's a really beautiful thing to see that. So moments like that inspire me to make sure that I'm also learning, because when you listen, you practice the listening part. Then you practice the active listening so you can turn it into a solution. So when your team members, your clients, your friends, your family, whoever, you're dealing with these problems, just listening to what people are going through and what seems to be the block for them. And you take that in and you don't take it personally, you don't internalize it. It gives you the time to actually come up with a productive solution. And from there, I mean, you can only go up. So that would be another piece of advice. You have any other thoughts on that you can think of off the top of your head?
Um, just piggybacking on what you said about being intentional. Um, is that really do you want to solve what you're coming in for?
Yeah,
Do you really want to do? Is that what you're going for?
yeah.
And if it is, then you're definitely going to have to be intentional. You're definitely going to have your mind made up. I'm intentionally going in open minded. I am expecting to reach the goal that I'm setting for myself. I'm
Mm,
expecting to get guided to that goal,
yeah.
and don't go don't go in like, okay, we're here this hour. I'm getting everything done. It may take more than one session,
Yeah. Yeah,
depending on what it
man.
is that you're trying to do. It may take more than one
Hold on, because
session.
let me
It
make sure
may
this is
take
shared in every chat. I need this to play over and over again because Tiffany, I can't tell you how many people have set themselves up for unfair goals because in their mind they're thinking after this business session or after we sit down, I'm going to be a millionaire, or my brand's going to go from this to that overnight. When it's like you have to think about input output. Like if you put in 10%, but you're working hard and it's a good 10%, you can't expect that 1,000% is coming out.
but
You
they
know what I
do.
mean? But yeah, it's like you thought you did one consult where we, learned who you were and stuff, and then you thought you were gonna wake up and be Bezos. That's not always how it works for people. It's
No.
not. Some people do go viral, some people do blow up, and part of it, a huge part of it, is because they have been doing it for years. So even before they became popular, they were posting tons of videos. Now that is not always the case, but in many cases, when you look at people who have gone viral, who have become the talk of the town, I want you to do something. I want you to look them up and go down to their oldest articles when they first started. And I want you to count how many years, how many months they were doing that before that moment hit where they became famous, popular, or viral. Because what you're going to find in many cases is that a lot of people, they were making videos way before that. I saw, and the reason why I say this is because I was on Instagram and I saw a content creator and he had a post that went viral and it was hilarious. I don't remember what it was. I just remember cracking up when I saw it. Something just told me, go check his post. So I went back to his page and I just started scrolling and scrolling. He had that one viral video that just blew up, tons of likes and comments flowing through the comments. If you only looked at that video, you'd be like, oh man, I want to get there. Why am I not there? But then if you scroll through all of his posts, this man had been posting the same exact content, the same exact catchphrase over and over and over again. Do you know how dedicated you have to be to post the same catchphrase over and over again? Tiffany, the same jokes to post it over and over again. Do you realize how dedicated you have to be to go and record yourself? It wasn't even like, no, like this not AI. He didn't record it and then he recorded it and then went another day, had on different clothes at a different location, recorded it again. I've seen videos of people doing the same dance in like 30 different spaces. Do you know how dedicated you have to be? So when you see them go viral, you can't look at that and be like, well, why am I not like that overnight? You want to scroll past all the posts that they did before they went viral? Because if you don't have that same amount of posts, why would we be thinking that we will be up there? And then sometimes you do have the same amount of posts and you just haven't had your moment yet because everybody has their own path. But yeah,
What if you're not even ready for the viral? You know,
yeah,
I think that's something people don't think about. We want it,
yeah,
but if you don't go through the process, if you don't do the healing, if you don't listen to a coach or a consultant, if you don't have the mentor, and you suddenly have this $1 million. What do you do with it?
Yeah.
Because
What
you
do you do with
hadn't, you don't know your capacity.
financially?
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
Now you've got it, and then what if you lose it all right back because you did not know how to sustain?
exactly. Exactly. You did not know how to sustain. You did not know how to appreciate, how to cater to it. That sentiment is the same as similar to one that I've said before, where it's like, we talk a lot about sales in the small business world because we're all talking about, how are we going to grow to get that next client,
Mhm.
sales, promo. But I've had times where a person was like, oh, yeah, I need sales, I need this. But then when I go and I analyze like their website, their business, their mission, it's not enough passion put into this. So when you do get 100, 200, 300 people to go across your website, not any of them or a low amount of them are going to be purchasing because you're not ready for that traffic. You're
Not
not
really.
prepared for them. It's
Yep.
about continuing to wake up and go through the motions with passion to prepare yourself for success, even when you don't feel like it's right at the door. You got to keep preparing as if it is right at the door, because the day that it is at the door and you have the opportunity in front of you, you're either going to miss it or you're going to make it. And a wonderful example of that, I had a few entrepreneurs where I was wearing their products, I was talking about their items, and people were seeing it. And I guess some of them, a few of them felt like, well, nobody's made this purchase. So I guess I'll just shut it down, take off my website, close down my social media. And I had people coming to me like, oh, this is so cute. I was like, yeah, this website, this, that. Well, I had someone who was going on a vacation and really wanted this outfit, really wanted it, and then came back to me and was like, "Oh, I found this and I found that, but this is closed down." And I'm like, well, "That's news to me." So I go back. I'm like, hey, I mean, that's another thing. Please tell your people, if you're letting go of a vision, or if you're pausing on a vision, please communicate that to your people, your coaches, your consultants, whoever, clearly, because they're out here rooting for you and they're pushing your name in rooms where you're not there, even when you think that no one's talking about you. So you have to keep that in mind, especially here at Boss Bay Blog. For my clients specifically, I talk about my clients more than I talk about my boyfriend. And I don't have one. But if I did, I probably still would. So, that's just how much I talk about the people in my community. And I do it on a national basis, and I do it on a actually international now, because I talk about my clients that are in our nation, but also take care of international clients as well. But I do it so much online, in person. I'm always like, oh, you need this? I know someone who does that. I know someone who does this. I know a lady who's extremely passionate about helping women elevate. I know someone who can help you with your nails, someone who has the perfect lipstick for you, someone who can help you with your healing journey, somebody who's been through what you're going through. I talk about them like nobody's business. So when I do that, and then somebody comes back to me and they're like, oh, that website's gone. That person's what? Now this don't happen. This doesn't happen anymore to me. It happened in the earlier stages when I didn't have that vetting process for my clients to make sure that we were the great fit and we're in the right mind space. But just rewinding back to that, make sure you communicate that with people so that they can respect your wishes and where you want to go. And they're also not leading people to you when you're not in that space, or if you're not ready for it, because this was an opportunity. This was a moment where someone was saying they wanted success, they wanted those sales, they wanted income. But then when it came knocking at their door, they weren't ready. Their house wasn't clean. So you need to always be cleaning your house if you're an entrepreneur. You can't be like, it'll come when it's ready. When I'm ready, it'll come. Nobody's outside. I don't see any cars in the driveway. Nobody texted me that they were on the way. So I just keep it dirty. And then when somebody come knock on the door, you sitting there like, oh, let me step outside, because you just don't want to show them the fact that you haven't been catering to, loving on your home, the place that you're saying you want them to be a part of. So that's a great analogy for people out there. But yeah, sometimes people really genuinely are not at a place where they are ready for that. So what do you do when they're knocking at your door, when they're on your website or trying to get on it, when they're looking for you on social media, can't find you, when they click on a QR code or wherever and there's nothing? It doesn't even take them back to redirect them to the page. It's just nothing. So we got to be prepared, because some people are ready to give it to you. You need to be ready to receive it.
That's it. That's
So
it.
yeah. Anything else you want to add? How do you feel? Feel like you got everything, or is there anything weighing on your head?
Ah, no, that's it. Be open, be honest.
Weighing on your crown? I'm sorry.
um, and for the coaches and the mentors, don't promise what you can't give. I mean, we're all human, but especially for the person that's seeking coaching and mentoring. And I love what you said about there's a difference. Know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Don't go in and like I want the instructions and you come into a coach because I'm not gonna give you the instructions. I'm gonna coach. That's I love that part. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people don't actually know what it is or the differences in what they're getting. So be sure to do your research and make sure that you're getting what you're going for. And yeah, definitely be open and be ready for change.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that you ended with that sentiment too, because we will be talking about, we'll be giving some insight to people out there that are in coaching, mentoring, about how you can have, more enriching relationships with your clients as well. So I didn't forget about them, because yeah, don't think y'all have been forgotten. We're gonna talk, we're gonna get to y'all. So, I just wanted to make the process a little easier for people, make it flow and give them some tips and insight that could help them with keeping a long lasting relationship, whether they are your coach long term or not. It's just nice to feel like it's a mutually fruitful relationship. So that's the goal. And then I would like to just end on a service that we both have. It can be, you could do one or two if you'd like, services or opportunities that you have right now in your community. Um, I want to start with one because I already had a thought process behind it. But for me, I'm going to do my marketing. So this is my small business membership, directory membership at bossbayblog.com. I do have another business that focuses on branding and consulting and coaching, but this one specifically focuses on consulting and coaching for marketing and advertising, expanding your brand. So I wanted to talk about this because if you're someone out there that's really looking for that step by step experience, you can get that here. We can walk through your brand, we can learn about what your goals are, and then we can start setting you up for success. Each client will receive a branding session. We sit down, we do a new member welcoming session. I get to learn you, and then I create specific instructions that I feel like need to be done based off your business or your industry. And while you're completing those instructions, we continue to grow and promote your brand. So the thing that I would say is if you're looking for someone who pays attention, if you're looking for someone who is obsessed with your success, your growth, but also is here to make sure that you can do that on your own, then this is the place that you want to be. Because, like I said previously, I am here to help guide you, support you, consult you, provide you with resources, tools, a community that you can connect with in so many different industries. But I am not here for enabling. So I'm looking for people who are genuinely trying to elevate their craft and they want to get to that next level. And also, I look at people who are ready to bring it, like bring it. And when I say bring it, I mean when you come to that console, you need to have your notepad already ready because you know that we're about to be going through it. So I need people like that because if you're serious about that and you want that and you're ready to receive it, you can get that here. A lot of times people say they're ready to receive it, and then when they get it, they're like, okay, let me think. Listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm someone who is driven. I'm passionate. I show up for myself, but I also show up for my clients in so many different ways. And I challenge them to show up for themselves as well. And I push them to look past the discomfort. Sometimes it's forms of procrastination. Sometimes it's forms of self doubt. Sometimes it's forms of intrusive thoughts. But I challenge them to elevate past that because I've been through that myself. I've gone through that. I still go through that. There's different stages in entrepreneurship, but you need to be around people who encourage you to elevate and don't want you to keep sitting in the same sad song because it benefits them. And sometimes that's what happens in entrepreneurship, in coaching, in business, in life. You get around people who are comfortable with you being comfortable. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not. I'm not comfortable with my clients being comfortable. I'm not comfortable being comfortable myself. I give one last story and then I'm gonna hand it over to Tiffany. I had someone tell me, you know, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be doing this. I said, well, today is your last day. I said, today is your last day. So get your notepad open because I'm about to show you how to do it. Because I'm not comfortable with anybody being comfortable. We have to be growing. We have to be elevating. We have to be evolving. We have to be thinking about how we're going to show up and how we're going to be our best. We got to be thinking about how organized we're going to get. How we're going to change our mindset so that we're helping versus hurting ourselves. Who we're going to surround ourselves around. How we're going to step out of our comfort zone. How we're going to communicate better. How we're going to communicate to our audience, to our peers, to our collaboration partners, how we're going to grow our brand, how we're going to listen better, absorb better. These are the questions that we're going to be asking. But first, I need you to get in there, give me the information about your business, sit back and follow those instructions that are provided. And we're going to get there. We're going to elevate. You will look back after 1 year at your business and you will have a list of things that you have accomplished as a member at Boss Babe Blog. So that's my service. Check it out. Tiffany, I'm gonna hand it on over to you. What you got?
Thank you. So, um, as I said, I'm a certified life coach, and I am offering sessions to anyone who needs some guidance on the next steps in whatever it is. My niche is women, and when I say niche, I specialize, I'll say, with women who have left toxic relationships, or who have experienced seasons of grief, because I'm her. I've been there. I did 18 years in a relationship, and rebuilding and changing your mindset after that is it's a feat. It's hard to do, but it can be done. It can be done. It's work, but it can be done. So that's right. But I'm willing to coach anyone on any issue that they may have. I've also had some toxic workplaces. That's a whole nother thing. You
Every
have to shut the door on that too.
I
So
get
if you need some
I
some
started
closure on anything, any area in your life, I'm offering sessions, free, and let's see if we can get some movement there. Let's do some healing.
I appreciate that. And thank you for reminding me because I actually was going to ask you that. I was going to say, are you still offering sessions? So for anyone that does not know, just a quick little insight on that. So Tiffany, certified life coach, like she said, she's talked about her niche. If you are someone that thinks you might need assistance or coaching in that area, these are 30-minute complimentary sessions. All you have to do is go to her website. You're going to see the information on her resources page. And then when you sign up to be a part of the session, you have to book. I say book as soon as possible because it's the first 20 people. So if you book, but it's 30 months down the line, you might just miss that free session. So make sure that you do it early and don't be afraid. I think a lot of people are afraid of being seen. I think that's what it is. It's not the coach, it's not the mentor. It's that they're either afraid of being misled or they're afraid of being seen. And what people don't understand is, like, they say, well, what if I'm not perfect? What if the things that I've done are embarrassing? What if she looks at this and says, what is going on here? But then you have to ask yourself, what if she embraces and understands what I've been through because she has been through things herself? And what if this consultation is the conversation that jumpstarts a change in my life? So don't be afraid of growth. It's $0. Get out there and go do it. And yeah, that will be my ending. If there's anything that I would like to say, I really do appreciate about this conversation. I definitely appreciate your part that you talked about as far as just knowing what it is you're looking for, making sure that that's it. Because do you want guidance? Do you want someone to challenge you? Do you want someone to ask you those questions? Or are you just wanting a list of information? Because that can be provided, but it depends on who you're going to. And I just want to say thank you to every single person who watches our podcast, listens to our podcast. I appreciate you all so, so much. And yeah, that's it. Get ready to see us for Soft Girl Sunday because my birthday is coming up.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And so tomorrow I am going to be streaming live at the Small Business Expo because I do want to share some products, some services, and some opportunities from businesses that are listed in our directory. So I'm going to start off with some freebies. And if anybody's interested, make sure you meet us here on our YouTube channel again. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. And thanks for listening. Bye-bye. Thank you, Tiffany.
Bye. Thank you.